Hi, I'm Clinton.
I'm Claude. We're the lamest offenders. So for today's episode, we are continuing our MCU legacy reviews with Avengers: Age of Ultron. Hi,
Thanos. We're the lamest offenders.
I don't even know who you are.
we have a small but dedicated fan base.
Be sure to visit our sponsor at BaskervilleProductions.com.
Hi, welcome back. So, one of our favorite parts about this movie was the opening. Like, it was a great reintroduction to these characters. Everybody's working in unison.
There's a splash page, literally, where they're all just jumping out.
Yeah, for sure.
Hawkeye's got a trench coat for whatever reason. He's looking like
Hawkeye.
a jabroni coming in hot.
A minute in? You're with that? So they're trying to beat this Hydra base and get the scepter back and all that good stuff. But it's the action scene where Hulk is calmed down by Black Widow, and you have Iron Man flying into the shield, like this energy shield over this base, and he's bouncing off of it, a lot like Claude and Iron Man VR.
We don't talk about that.
And Hawkeye just doing what Hawkeye does, running around, and
he was being at least somewhat helpful. He had probably the highest kill count besides Hulk.
Hawkeye was a good character in this movie, actually.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that in a moment. And then Captain scolding Iron Man for yelling obscenities during the prison break.
Now, watching this whole first sequence, I was like, this movie's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna love it. And then because it was cool, because it was just super comic booky, and
it was definitely campier.
The jokes somewhat landed, which they certainly don't later on. But it was just we kind of briefly touched on it. But one thing I really hated, and it just led up to the rest of the movie, was the forced in Black Widow Hulk romance.
Yeah.
It's cringy.
It was unnecessary.
Just trying to rewatch it right now, I'm like, should I skip it? I'm like, no, I'm gonna.
It was rough. Mm-hmm. It was really rough, and they just kept going back to it, which was upsetting because they had a lot of good character beats as well in this movie,
right?
And a lot of good character moments, but unfortunately, nothing was working. Like, it wasn't clicking. I did not believe their romance whatsoever.
No.
So it was unfortunate. It was nice to see Black Widow try to become more human and trying to get the Dr. Jekyll out of Bruce Banner a little bit more, but ultimately it just didn't work.
It just felt like they were trying to. That's what this movie feels like as a whole to me. It's
too hard.
Yeah, it's trying really hard, and it's cramming a lot of crap into this movie. Like, if Force feeds you Wakanda, Force feeds you Claw. It's just like things that
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. It just, or like, we could take our time with it, and that's what Joss Whedon, because I don't think he had a good time filming this, is because there was a lot of pushback from Marvel. I think it was a Marvel corporate area. It wasn't so much Marvel Studios or Kevin Feige. It was more of just everybody else.
You got to set up 10 more movies.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, come on. It's just, it felt a little bit like, I know I love to bring up Amazing Spider-Man 2, but it felt like that, where it's just like they're trying to cram all this crap in it.
Yeah.
So,
which is funny because Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy, we were talked about basically are two great standalone movies, and they don't really. It leaves itself open, but you could also just watch those and walk away, being like, okay, that was great. Mm-hmm. And then to go to this, it's like, it's just a mess. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, Age of Ultron definitely had some great highlights to it, but it could have been better for sure. The over convoluted plot with Ultron trying to lift a city up just to smash it down like an asteroid,
and he had full control. That's the thing with Ultron is so the promotions for this movie and the trailers, they made Ultron seem really cool and menacing, and I was like, all right, cool. And you get there and he's like Pee Wee Herman. It's just like every third thing out of his mouth, it's a really bad joke, and you're like, okay. It's just, they gave, and then, so he also has control. This is another problem I have with Ultron. So he had complete control what he could look like.
Of the internet, too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Pornhub accounts, everything. So, and then he decides, and he hates humanity because that's his ultimate, pardon the joke here, but endgame is basically to wipe him out, restart. And so he hates humanity, but he gives himself lips and teeth again. And it's kind of like, it felt like an Amazing Spider-Man with the lizard. He had lizard lips. Optimus Prime had metal lips. I was just like, this looks so stupid. Because in the comic, is he's got this huge grin, and it's menacing, and it would have looked
just
cooler.
like blinks basically when he talks. So I know that would have been kind of corny, but this movie's already. I mean, we're talking about a blonde guy with a hammer. Like we're already corny. We're already past this point.
Guy killing people with arrows.
It's like let's just go weird. Like let's have fun with this. Yeah. So
maybe they were just too scared of it. Like they're like, let's give him some sort of emotion, even though he's a robot.
The plot was just so, and I understand the plot was used to set up Civil War.
Yeah.
But also, Ultron would never do something that stupid.
Yeah.
He would never be that convoluted to spend all of his resources on one thing.
Right.
If he had control, like I said, he had control of the internet. He had control over
unlimited data,
financial institutions. He could have done really anything he wanted.
He was running at 5. He's running at 5G right now in this movie, okay? And he's acting like a 2G right now.
I mean, he could have just brought down electrical grids.
Yeah.
He could have put humanity back in the Stone Age, and then just had his drones swarm. Mm-hmm. I should have wrote this movie.
I know.
I like this already.
This sounds a lot better.
Yeah. So it's like, why not just do something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't have as much problems with Ultron as a villain. I actually thought he was kind of funny sometimes.
Christ. James
Spader.
James Spader.
It's funny because I read that during production of this film, James Spader, while he was Ultron, because he's kind of short on the shorter side, he had to have like an extension of his of his head to go up so people could look up to him.
Like, oh, damn it, Spader!
It's so stupid. I hope that was accurate.
I think Ruffalo did that with the Hulk too. Is like he had a bust of the Hulk.
So funny. And we know Josh Brolin did with Thanos.
Yeah.
So that. I hope that Marvel does that. It makes him do that.
So, also with this movie, I'm going to complain about it a lot. This wasn't one of my favorite movies at all, but it's still a decent movie. I mean, it's
very long.
Yeah, it's very long.
It feels long too.
It kind of drags on. There's lots of stupid little there's like a Thor mini quest where he goes on. And it's like
Dr. Sullivan makes an appearance again.
Yeah.
So
I guess he had to fulfill his contract with Marvel or something.
Oddly enough, I think it was the action beats that went far too long for me. Because when they're at Clint Barton's farm and they're having those, basically an exposition dump, but they're having these great character moments too. Yeah. Like Captain America and Iron Man, or Tony and Steve kind of like chopping wood together. That was a great scene.
That was very cool.
That was just a really cute little scene about them as people.
That's like the only. I hate the farm stuff.
Oh, really?
You love it, yeah. And I get it. It's character building,
more character stuff.
Yeah, honestly, and it's just like, okay, cool. Like Hawkeye's got a family, that's cool. Yeah. But I felt like we were in the farm for quite a while, and it's just
this isn't the season 2 of Walking Dead.
It felt like it, and it's just like, all right, we get it. They're churning butter. Let's get on with the movie. Let's just I can go home.
We get reintroduced to Nick Fury. We know he's still doing his thing.
He's hiding in barns.
He's hiding in a barn behind random tractors, hoping Tony Stark shows up. And
why don't you fix the tractor, Tony? I got it. It's like, what the hell?
But no, like that scene, the scene where they're all having their party after they get the scepter in the beginning.
That was a cool scene.
When they try to raise Mjolnir and Captain almost does. Mm-hmm. So like that was little touches like that. Really. It
was foreshadowing for Endgame too.
It was, which for sure, absolutely. But yeah, I like the character beats. I felt did pretty well. It was just the extensive action scenes that would go on for like 20 minutes. Like, can we just wrap this up? Like, I get it. Like, I know what's going on.
And I did. So speaking of action scenes, it's a cool fight scene, but the Hulk versus Hulkbuster armor.
That was great. I did love that.
That's one of the best fight scenes in all the MCU. But at the same time, we have another movie where Hulk is mind controlled. It's just like, come on. Like, it's just, they should have just did this for Avengers 1.
Yeah, I do like that when Scarlet Witch was going around doing her little... Oh, by the way, Elizabeth Olsen, the director did not tell her what to do. So all that crazy crap she's doing with her hands, she just made it up. She's
Jazz
like,
hands.
okay, I guess I'll just do this.
Yeah.
Like, so it was all her, which is pretty great.
It looked okay.
Yeah.
Like, she did a good job with it.
But so as she's hypnotizing Black Widow, Captain America, and Thor, she almost gets Hawkeye. And he goes, nope. That's okay. I've already been mind controlled once. Not into it again.
And then that's kind of funny too, is because apparently Jeremy Renner was really pissed off for his time on Avengers, the first one, because he didn't do anything. He was just like, yes.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, he had a lot more screen time in this one, which made it. I liked him in this one a lot more. I thought he was better.
So if they do more Hawkeye stuff in the future, they have the Hawkeye TV series. It'd be really cool to see more of him interacting with Kate Bishop, whoever they cast for that. So I'm looking forward to that.
But it was interesting during the Scarlet Witch scene where she is hypnotizing. Everybody has their nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if it's a nightmare or if it's whatever. But like you see, Black Widow has her time back at the Red Room, or like ballerina school, and then you have Thor with Heimdall going back to Asgard, and Heimdall's warning him that you've sent us all to hell. And then Captain America's is a dance with Peggy Carter, and the war's over.
Yeah.
So, is that his worst thing? Is that the fight? There's no more fighting to do. Like I don't know what the point of that was. It's like, is that his worst fear? Like
They could have cut
no one
all
left
that
to
crap
fight?
out. Like, I'm sorry, but like all that stuff, I was just like, all right, we're padding this movie even longer. Like, it's just that's what I feel about this movie. It's just like
Padding.
yeah, I mean, it's fine. It feels like a comic book where it's just, especially Marvel comic book recently, you know, because it has a lot of crap that it doesn't go anywhere. So
This movie is the main event plus all the tie-ins.
yeah,
basically.
yeah. It's like, oh crap, I gotta read all this too. Like, I just want the main story.
Yeah.
I just, this movie is just okay for me. I thought it was okay. It was the first. So thinking of the Avengers and all these movies, I never thought I'd ever get to the point in the theater where I see all these heroes fighting, like, and they're all fighting the Ultron bots, where I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it was just like, let's just go home. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, is this what the MCU is going to be like in the future?
See the end credit scene. Let's
Yeah. That's how I felt at the time of watching this. I was super disappointed. Rewatching it wasn't as bad as I remember, but it still wasn't the, you know.
It was better after a second viewing. It was better after having seen the entirety of the MCU.
Yeah.
For me, like, I liked it a lot more. It was like, oh wait, that totally leads to that. That actually ties in really well. But then I'm thinking, wait a minute, they made this movie like, what, 5 years before Infinity War and Endgame, so of course they would. They had a plan. So
Yeah. I would
close to one anyway.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, I'd give this movie probably like I'm gonna crap on this. I think maybe a 6.8.
That's not that bad.
I don't know.
That's good. That's a good movie.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I think as a gamer, when you look at reviews for games, you're like, oh my god, IGN gave this game a 6, but it's still like it's got flaws, but it's definitely no Thor Ragnarok or anything like that.
You're absolutely right on that. It's not. I give it like 6.5, 7. I mean, it's not bad. It's not Marvel's best. It's not the worst.
It's down on my bottom movies though, for sure.
Yeah,
for Marvel.
yeah. I mean, it's probably the worst of the Avengers movies. Actually, not probably. It is the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, is it that much worse than Avengers?
Yeah, I think it's way worse.
Okay.
Yeah, personally.
That's your opinion.
And I'm always right. So that's it for our review. The next review we're doing in our MCU collection is Ant-Man. So that's a fun movie.
Yeah.
A lot more fun than this one. So we'll catch you guys soon, and thanks for watching.
Appreciate you. Stay lane.